Hey guys, Tinker Taylor here today, bringing you back another Pokemon build series video. Now this one, I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. It's builds like these that are kind of different and odd and weird, and I don't see a lot of these, and when I do I get very excited because I love it when people do builds like this, especially where they build, I don't want to say a mountain, but like a mountain, a mini mountain. I've only ever done one other build like this before, and it took me an hour and a half just to build a mountain. So this time I decided to build something much smaller. In that one I did a lot of terrain manipulation and then built the mountain around the terrain manipulation. But this time I decided just to build the little mountain. We can pretend that it's like super big and huge and whatever, but it's not. It's just because it would take a long time to get that done, and I don't know if I have the time nor the patience for that at the moment, I'm not gonna lie to you guys. But the idea is that when you're looking at the front of this build, that there's that little cave entrance, and it's all boarded up, and I imagine like that's where all the bats fly out of. And speaking of bats, that's kind of what Zubat actually looks like. So if you've never seen Zubat before, it is a purple bat blue bat looking creature. The undersides of its wings are purple and its ears are purple. It's got a big mouth that it, I presume, screams from to use echolocation, but it has no eyes. And it is a poison flying type. So yeah, I don't know, the vibes I kind of got from it was, I wrote down just the word cave, but when I was coming back to revisit what I wanted to do in terms of, okay, yeah, sure, it's cave, but what do I do with the cave? I decided that I really wanted to do something a little bit more underground bunker, like not bunker, but like underground lair, I guess. It's probably the best way to put it. So yeah, that's kind of what we end up with, and I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. So yeah, definitely let me know down below when you see the rest of this build, your thoughts on it. It's got a few different kinds of vibes to it. So up here, it's kind of, just like a mountainous area, and then I don't want to spoil it too much, but I had a lot of fun with it. I don't know, it's builds like these that I just sometimes I'll do stuff that I feel like anybody could do and anybody could build. Not to get me wrong, like anyone could build this, anyone could do it. It's just I don't see it. I think that's what I'm trying to say. Like, I do a lot of builds that I see a lot, and, like, okay, cool, people do houses and daycares, and, even hotels are being really popular at the moment. And, like, a lot of people are doing stuff like that, but how many people are building an underground mountainous lair thing? If you are, definitely let me know. I'd love to check it out, because I love to see stuff that's a little bit more outside the box. And, it's not to say that I'm building outside the box, but I just don't see stuff like this all that often. So if you do build like this, definitely let me know, because I would absolutely love to check it out. I think, the more weird and wacky and different your build is, the better. Although there is a time and place for the not so weird and wacky builds. Like, absolutely, if you do some really, really nice builds, absolutely, like it's something that I think is needed by everyone. So yeah, don't get me wrong, if you build like a house or whatever, don't think that I'm calling you generic or boring, because, we all still need houses to live in. If everyone built, like a villainous lair in the sky, then where would all the normal townies live, if you want to have like a normal townie vibe, you wouldn't have a house like that. You'd have to build it yourself, and if you're not a strong builder and you want to look for it, like, it's going to be hard to find. So, like, having traditional houses, or even not so traditional houses, is still really helpful and whatnot, but I do kind of get sad when I don't get to see a lot of these weird, wacky builds. To be fair, I also don't go looking all that hard. I spend a lot of my time watching a lot of documentaries, so I'm probably just missing a lot of them, because I have seen them out there. There are definitely weird, wacky builds out there, things outside the square, outside the box and whatnot, and I love them. I absolutely love them. But even then, like, I'll still watch people's builds who are a bit more traditional. I'm absolutely fine with that. yeah, because I don't play with builds, for me a traditional looking build is not as exciting. I feel like people who do play the game completely understand it, and they can look at it and be like, wow, like this is perfect for the legacy challenge I'm doing, or for the family I'm playing with, or whatever. But I don't play, so for me it's a bit like, oh yeah, this is cool. It's a bit like, like it's cool. Like, don't get me wrong, it's very cool. But yeah, I don't know. I want to see more weird and wacky stuff. But I feel like if I did get into gameplay, I would totally get it. I'd be like, oh no, like bring back the normal houses. Where have they gone, please? I want to see the normal houses again. So yeah, that's yeah. I don't know. Enough of that little random tangent there. So you can see here that yeah, I've kind of built like this little underground lair-y type section thing. I do add onto it, so this is not the only room, but you'll have to go searching for the rest of them, I feel. I mean, you'll see me build them, but if you are a sim in real life, you'd have to go looking for them. Because I do kind of hide them away a little bit, so... which is kind of funny that you can live here. It should be a fully functioning, livable place, but the fact that this section is not hidden, but the part where you live is hidden, I find that kind of funny. It's like, yeah, why would you hide the bedroom and the kitchen but not hide this giant underground villain lair thing? I mean, it doesn't have to be a villain's lair, it could be a hero's lair, I don't know. It kind of reminds me of, if you've seen, what's the movie? Megamind, how the hero from that, if you haven't seen it, mute me for the next couple of seconds, but how the hero for that is hidden away in this like little lair up on the mountain or whatever. Not on a mountain, but yeah, like hidden away. That kind of reminded me of this, and maybe that sort of guy lives here, like an ex-hero or an ex-villain, and they still have all their things, but they don't act it out, they don't be a hero or a villain or whatever, they just have their stuff still here, I guess. Yeah, I don't know, it was kind of a weird, fun little build to do. I did have a bit of problem with the lighting in this room. I kept having to replace it down for it to actually light up this section, but you know, in the end it was whatever. Like I wanted it to be a darker room anyway, so I guess it kind of worked out in the end. But yeah, I don't know, I kind of had a little bit of fun with it. It was kind of weird, kind of like, I've never really used this stuff before. It doesn't really make sense to use this stuff anywhere other than a movie set, and so I'm kind of glad that I did not just, like, I did not just do a typical, I don't want to say typical build, but like a typical underground house. I like the fact that I kind of, I don't know, went a bit weird and wacky with it. Again, I feel like we should have more weird and wacky builds in the world, both in Sims and real life. I think that would be super fun, but I don't know, that's something that's definitely, I don't know, each to their own, I guess. Some people like a bit more like family oriented setups and whatnot in their world. Some people like a bit more weird and wacky stuff. Some people like a balance of both. Some people just leave all the builds as like as the EA builds. So yeah, I don't know. It's we all play the game differently, and that's what I love about this game, is that we all can do something within this game that is so unique and different to each other, and still have so much to talk about. You know, like I watch some people who do legacy play, like gameplays. I watch people who do cast stuff. I watch so many different things that it's like I'm constantly learning new things about this game, and honestly, it's the only reason why I'm surviving the what are they called, like the events, yeah, the events that are happening, because I have no idea what's going on with how to play The Sims, but because I watch people, I'm like, oh, okay, that's how you do that. I need to become friends with someone, okay, let's go stargaze, or let's take photos together. Like, okay, cool, I know that, but that, yeah, beyond that, I really have no clue with how the game works beyond, like, outside of building. But that's what I love is if you're a builder, you are going to get in and you're going to build and you're going to have fun with it. But if you are a gameplay person, then you are someone who's going to get in and play with The Sims. And if you are a gameplay person who doesn't build, you have builders there to help like build stuff for you, and you can find builds that they've done and use them. And same with cast creators. If you're not a cast creator and you're a legacy player, you can find a cast created family. Or if you are a cast creator and someone needs a cast family, like, you can make one. It's really good, because sometimes when I'm building, I have a family or a person in mind for the build. So the person who lives here lives completely alone, completely isolated, either a current or former hero or villain. Not really decided which one. Didn't really think it was all that important, but yeah, they're very bougie, I guess is the word. Like, they like to have the luxurious things in life, even though their lab is a little less luxurious. I don't know why. Like, I feel like their lab would be luxurious if they liked the rest of the stuff luxurious, but I didn't end up doing that. I don't know. I think it's because I built the little lab section first, the little underground hero villain bunker thing first, and then I started building the rest of it, and because I did the rest of it, it just felt into, I don't know, I always end up doing really, really nice, luxurious type builds when it comes to villains and heroes. I don't know why, but I feel like that's what I should do. So I probably should challenge myself in the future to try and build something a little less luxurious for a villain or hero. I probably should try and build something like, you know, maybe a resistance camp or something like that. I think that would be cool. But I don't know, I just keep leaning into this luxurious, fancy type build every time. Let me know down below, is there a style of build that, if you're a builder, that you keep going back to? Like, if you build, let's say, a family home, is it always a family home that has multiple levels and space for the grandparents, or is it like a small family home, or is it like a more cottagey vibe, or like a, you know, if there's let's try that sentence again. If there's something that you do when you build and you always do it, let me know what it is down below, because I would love to know. Mine apparently is dark, moody, luxurious villain builds, where I forget to paint the ceiling. I mean, the last time I did, from memory, a villain build, which was the last mountain build that I did, it was stark white. It was as white as I could make it. So, you know, I'm kind of doing the opposite here, making it as dark as I could make it. So I guess monochromatic is probably the better term, because, yeah, the builds are just as dark or as light as possible. And, you know, maybe this is maybe the villain lives up on the mountain and the hero lives here, maybe. I don't know, I kind of like that idea. Sometimes quite a lot of times in media, in TV shows, movies, books, whatever, the hero is portrayed as, like, you know, that a lot of heroes live up in tall towers. I think, you know, Tony Stark lives in that big, oh no, he lives in a house, he lives in a big mansion, but he has the tall Stark Tower and whatever. But a lot of heroes live in luxury, and they have a very light, soft colours, soft shapes, all that sort of stuff surrounding them. And then the villains kind of typically live in darker, harsher colours and shapes. And I don't know, I feel like perhaps maybe that's not something that should always be the case. I mean, I know you could say, like, oh, look at Batman. Batman lives, well, he lives in a mansion, but there's caves where he does all his bat stuff, and he's all dark and moody and whatever, and that's what I want to see more of. I want to see more of, you know, not every character who fits a certain mold should live within that certain way, you know. Not every hero should live, you know, in the lap of luxury. Some heroes should live kind of struggling. I mean, again, there's probably a bunch of heroes out there that you could be like, well, technically this one fits that and whatever. But I'm just saying, like, a majority of them fit that vibe, and it's just, I want to see more. I want to see the hero who loves wearing bright, really, really bright colours, and the villain who also likes to wear really, really bright colours. I like it. They're always so monochromatic. They're always so, like, I get villains trying to blend in with the dark and whatnot, but I want to see more just stuff that you don't typically see, you know? I want to see a villain who, you know, had to work really hard for everything and then has everything and has gone insane with the power. I mean, again, there's probably somewhere out there, there's probably a bunch of things out there, but I so many villains I see come from the lap of luxury, so many heroes I see come from the lap of luxury. I want to see middle class heroes. I want to see just everything that you can think of, everything that's not been done. I want to see all of that. I want to, you know, I don't know, I want to see a group of heroes and villains that doesn't have, you know, a leader. It's like a collective. And I guess you could say, oh, like the Justice League, yeah, but everyone knows that there's kind of some people who are more in charge than others there. But yeah, look, I could ramble and rant on about heroes and superheroes and villains and whatever all day, every day. I also want to see things like, you know, mayors are typically shown as like villainous evil creatures, but I want to see a hero. I was going to say a hero villain, that's not what I want to say, a hero mayor. Someone in politics who's actually a hero. I know that's not common, but that's the point, is it's not common. I want to see things that are kind of really unexpected, that you just wouldn't think of it. But anyway, yeah, we are just going through. I think I will do the bedroom next, and then I'll do some last minute furnishing. But yeah, we're kind of towards the end. I don't add any more rooms. I don't add any more, I was gonna say furniture, but I do. I've furnished the bedroom. But yeah, it's a very dark and moody place. I was supposed to add a few bits of art pieces here and there, but I was going around doing the plants, and then I got to the end of the plants and was like, yeah, I'm done, and then kind of forgot that I was going to add a few pieces of art here and there, so it's a bit more minimalistic than intended, but, you know, that's okay. Maybe this individual is a bit minimalist, so, yeah. Yeah, I don't know, I looking at Zubat, I'm not entirely sure this is Zubat's vibe, but it's definitely what I was, the cave room and the cave outside, the big mountain outside definitely feels it. So maybe, like, this is a cave area where lots of Zubats are and have been found and seen and whatnot. So, yeah, I don't know. It's definitely something that I definitely did enjoy doing this build, but I feel like I'm very comfortable in this sort of style. I feel like I definitely need to branch out more and try something different. Maybe I need to do... You know what? I've been sitting here saying I want to see more heroes and villains being brightly coloured and living in not the lap of luxury, and here I am doing that exact thing. So maybe I should listen to my own advice, and next time I do some sort of hero or villain thing, I should do something really weird and wacky. You know what? I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna have a little look through my list. I have a huge list of Pokemon and build ideas for them, and it's huge, like 1,025 Pokemon long. I haven't put all the Pokemon in, and I haven't put all the ideas for them in, but definitely going to be putting more ideas in as we go. I think I'm at Gen 5 is all put in now, and Gen 2 and 3 are both like 50%. Oh, one of them's 80%, one of them's 50% with ideas. Gen 1's completely done with ideas, so, you know, I've made a good chunk of ideas, but, you know, if I ever do a villain lair or a hero's place ever again, I'll definitely make sure to listen to my own advice, make it weird and wacky and fun, some fun colours. I just don't want people thinking that, like, you know, if I'm doing like a a brightly coloured villain's lair that I'm trying to imitate the Joker, because I know the Joker is very bright and colourful and purple and green and whatnot, but yeah, I'd rather do something weird and wacky. I mean, maybe I'll do a hero. We'll see. Well, I mean, at the moment you can't even really see what I'm doing in the build. This is what I was talking about earlier. The lighting goes a bit weird and dark in here, despite the fact that I do have lighting in here and it was working earlier. So I do change up the lighting a little bit and kind of just hope that it gets better, but it doesn't really. I'm going to be honest with you guys, it's still really, really dark in here. But that's kind of the goal. I wanted it to be a really dark space. So, yeah, I don't know. I feel pretty good at the end with how it turned out. I'm not even mad that I'm pretty sure the lights are not even centered properly, but that's not even a me problem, honestly. Like, some of these things I get so, like, I'll count and make sure everything's lined up so perfectly, but I don't really care. Like, sure, the lights can be off center, I don't mind. And I'm kind of happy about that. I'm kind of happy that I'm not too fussed about the lights being off center. Because usually I am. You'll see in a lot of the builds that I do, I go around counting everything to make sure it's like the same size, or this way or this way, or like, you know, okay, I hate building in uneven sized rooms. I don't know why, just can't stand it. If it's 7 wide, I'll make it 8 wide, or I'll shrink it down to 6. I cannot stand uneven numbered sized rooms. I could not tell you why. I just don't. It's probably because everything is either 1 or 2 tiles wide, and it's so much easier just to deal with even numbers, but that's probably also my OCD playing up, but you know, each to their own. It's so annoying. I hate it. Anyway, yeah, we're getting very close to the end of the video here. If you want to see more stuff like this, I come out with a new video every single day, except the last couple of days of February. And yeah, like I said, if you want to see more stuff like this, make sure to subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye, guys.